Good afternoon, Matt Poynton here, and I'm in Leeds railway station, and the reason that I'm sitting here on the overbridge above the platforms is because I want to talk about a recent story of mine which is called The Moon Is Up. Now, the reason why I'm talking about it is because part of the story is set here, and it's a story about a man, and it's a man and his son, and the man has died, and the son is he's very upset. He was very close to the father, and when he's looking through the stuff that his father's left behind, he comes across a number of diaries, a whole set of diaries, and these record a love affair that his father had with an unnamed lady for many, many years. And this quite distraughts the son, because he never knew that his father was having this affair with the lady. And in the diaries, they talk about their meetings, and the most regular place where they met was Leeds railway station and Starbucks Coffee, which is just over there. So they would sit, maybe even on this seat together, during their illicit meetings. The idea for the story came because I've just done a stage of the Camino, and I was in Biarritz where my plane went to fly out, and I had no reading material, so I bought a book from a bookshop, and it was Julian Barnes' novel, The Only Story, which is, Barnes argues in the novel, which is a very powerful, very emotional and personal novel, that, you know, everybody has their own special love story. It's their only story, hence the title. And in his, it's about a young boy who meets an older woman, and they get together, and how it turns out. And it says that, you know, the more you love, the more pain you have, basically. And that reminded me of when I was younger, and I used to live in Leeds. I used to use this station regularly when I lived there. And there was somebody I was very close to then, and I haven't seen them for over 20 years or so. And I wanted to write a story kind of based on that, but it wasn't so much a love story. It's more a look at memory and how things change as time passes. So the girl in question, the girl who the father is having the affair with, and I suppose the father is very autobiographical, he's the person I knew when I lived here. But it's so long ago that it's actually, apart from photographs, it's very difficult to remember what someone was like. It becomes blurred, and I say what you do remember is the image you see in a photograph rather than the real images that you saw at the time. And it makes you aware that the person you knew, well, you don't know what they've become or what they could have become, and you even start to doubt what they were then, because that's what the passage of time does. And the mind can play tricks on us, and so in a way it's like trying to imagine what an affair or what a continued relationship with someone would be, but that's somebody you don't actually know anymore. So they become a creation, they become a literary creation, they become an imaginary character. And it's how do we deal with that? Now, I'm not going to reveal what happens in the story, as it says in Goosebumps, there's a beginning, a middle, and a twist. And so I don't want to reveal what happens. But actually, the twist and what happens isn't so important. It's more that looking at the human mind and how memory works and how relationships can change us. I suppose, I don't really know how to say better. I have to say, I mean, it's quite a long story. It's over 10,000 words, which is much longer than most of my short stories. And it was one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult I've ever written, because it was intensely personal, and it was kind of dredging up things that I hadn't thought about for a long time. But I think it was quite a good exercise to do, and I don't know if it's a success as a story. It was experimental, and the problem with the experiments is they sometimes succeed and are marvellous, and they sometimes fail and are a bit like, yeah, let's put that to one side. I think it's quite successful, but then I'm emotionally involved with it. So I'd like to see what other people think. It will be included in my volume 6 of short stories. That's not out yet. But in the meantime, while you're waiting, you might want to click on the link below and check out volume 5, which is full of some of the best stories I've ever written, because they're the ones I did during my MA. But in the meantime, I sit here on Leeds Station on the footbridge, and who knows what liaison will come along.